tonight, we have big news. On the eve of trial, you've got the appellate division making a big ruling on third-degree murder. Derek Chauvin is charged with second-degree murder and manslaughter. In between those two is third degree. The judge dismissed it, but now prosecutors appealed that decision, went to the appellate court, and the appellate court said, wait a minute, Your Honor, you didn't exactly get it right. You need to follow our precedent. We're sending it back. Okay? So now, with the trial starting Monday, we're sitting here Friday, and now we've got to figure out still whether or not the third-degree murder charge will be an option for this jury. Let's bring in Court TV legal correspondent Julia Janae, who's with us live in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Julia, great to see you. We were waiting for this decision. The decision came down, but what does the ruling exactly mean now?
Vinny, the ruling is reversed and remanded. That's what the Court of Appeals is saying about this issue of third-degree murder, whether it should be reinstated. But the big issue was whether or not the district court needed to treat their recent ruling in the Mohamed Noor case as precedent. The district court says it wasn't precedent, and that's why they dismissed the third-degree murder charge several times. But the Court of Appeals today saying what we have to say about this issue, it is precedent, and those lower courts, like the district court, they are duty-bound to follow it. Let's take a look at this 18-page opinion by the court, and here's the decision by the Court of Appeals. They said that the district court therefore erred by concluding that it was not bound by the principles of law set forth in Noor and by denying the state's motion to reinstate the charge of third-degree murder on that basis. We reverse the order of the district court and remand for reconsideration of the state's motion. On remand, the district court has discretion to consider any additional arguments Chauvin may raise in opposition to the state's motion. So though this is a victory or perceived victory for the state, Derek Chauvin's defense still has another chance to try and make arguments before the district judge, because the Court of Appeals says, look, this should go back not to be changed, but for the judge to now reconsider. Based on what the Court of Appeals has put in this opinion, Judge Peter Cahill, who is over this murder trial, he will hear again likely from both parties to see if he is going to continue to keep that third-degree murder charge that was argued for by the state, and it was by the defense. They do not want that on the table for this jury, and the judge can make a decision from that. Again, that Noor case is precedent according to the Court of Appeals. But the judge could decide that even if it is precedent, it's so different from Derek Chauvin's case that he's still not going to reinstate that third-degree murder charge.
So we got a decision from the appellate court, but we still don't know if third degree is going to be in or not. But the judge has been ordered to reconsider it at this point. So he can't dismiss it based upon the reasoning that he did last time. But if there are new arguments, he can consider those. All right, a lot of talk about the Noor case. Let folks know a little bit more about it. What was that case about? What was he convicted of? And why is it so relevant to what we're talking about now?
Mohamed Noor's case was one of the most controversial officer-involved shooting deaths that went to court, and it resulted in a conviction. That was really unique for Minneapolis. A lot of the attorneys here have told me it's one of the first times an officer who was acting in his duty as an officer was actually convicted of murder by a jury. And they convicted him of third-degree murder only, but he also faced second-degree murder, which is the same thing Derek Chauvin is facing. Now, Noor was inside of his squad car back in 2017 in a dark alley when he says that he was alerted. He thought that he was being ambushed. He was in his car with his partner sitting in the passenger seat, and he reached over and fired his gun at a shadowy figure. That figure was Justine Damon. She had called the police to report a sexual assault that she thought she heard in that alley, and she was approaching these officers after making that 911 call. The officer said that this was a just knee-jerk reaction to believing that he was under attack, but the jury found that he acted in a way that was so reckless that he was consciously disregarding life when he fired into that dark alley. So in 2018 is when he was convicted. And recently, in February, is when his team brought this back up on appeal, and the Court of Appeals affirmed and upheld that conviction. That's the reason Derek Chauvin and the state prosecutors who are filing these charges against him believe that third degree should come back into play.